What's up, everyone? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Riaz, bringing you guys NBA on a Saturday. We got 8 games tonight, and we got some 5 o'clock games a little bit earlier. We got the Knicks going against the Rockets, and so there's some early games here. Not much in the early games that I really wanted to go talk about, but we have some solid props here. Me and Riaz are pretty much on the same guys, and the videos have been a little bit shorter lately, and this is going to follow the same trend. So Riaz is going to start us off here in the points.
Yeah, I know we don't really like too many people in the 5 o'clock game, but just to start off with the 5 o'clock game, I like Julius Randle for a nice little bounce back here. I mean, his line's sitting at 19 and a half, playing against this really just young team, this rebuilding Houston Rockets team. So definitely like Julius Randle here at 19 and a half for a great bounce back.
He's not in a bad spot either. Against, I looked at him for sure, and it just seems very low for a guy. In terms of his usage. Hopefully, he can get things back on track. I would like to see him bounce back tonight and get over that. Obviously, he has the capability. But the rest of the guys in this game, I'm not really on. But Randall definitely does look very enticing. And as we scroll down the list, Joel had a big game last time out there, 26 against the Clippers. Not a spot that I'm really going to go back to tonight. But as I look at some of these games, Miami and Washington just played. Butler had a big game, and Beal hit over this line too. He had 30 points. So any of these guys between these Indiana games and then the Indiana Pacers and then the Washington and Miami game, you got anyone here that you're looking at?
Yeah, I like playing Duncan Robinson. If Tyler Hero misses this game, I know I saw he was in shoot-arounds, but if he does miss, I do like Robinson here at 11 and a half. He just gets a great run when Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero are out. We know Butler's in, but Hero is questionable right now. But for someone who's playing, I do like Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma with the minutes he's been getting this year, just shooting the ball so well. I mean, it's just awesome when someone who you know is really talented goes out there and gets 35, 40 minutes run. I mean, shooting 41% from field, but he just takes the volume of shots that he takes is unbelievable. I mean, there's games where he's putting up almost 20 shots, double digit shot attempts every single game. So just on the volume and the minutes, I think this game is going to be a really good game. And at 13 and a half with the volume, and if he gets streaky, we all know he can cash in 4 or 5 threes. So Kuzma over 13 and a
Yeah, no
half.
doubt. I like Kuzma in this spot, and I think we're both on the same guy here in this Atlanta game, and that's Gordon Hayward. Just been playing well so far this season. He's had a couple up and down games. You can admit he's been pretty streaky, but as of late, he's been shooting the ball really well, double-digit shot attempts in each of the last 10 games. So you really can't. It's hard to fade someone like that. He's not shooting the ball great from deep. He's shooting at a good percentage, but he's not taking as much as we would like. So I'd like to see him shoot a couple more threes, but this is an uptick spot against Atlanta. They just played last night in a tough game against the Pacers. There was a lot of points scored in that game, and it wasn't in a losing effort. So I think Hayward, I think he still should play 31 minutes tonight. I don't think they're going to really rest anybody, but I know they're on a back-to-back, and I know Hayward's had some obviously injury issues in the past, but he should have a solid night tonight, and I like Hayward at 14 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely back on him. I called that bounce back game yesterday. Just puts up 25 points, and not only that, he grabbed a couple rebounds, awesome on the defensive end, had a couple steals, couple blocks, just had a monster game. So definitely back on Gordon Hayward at 14 and a half, the exact line he was at last game, which is pretty
If we go
awesome.
all the way down, there's a couple guys here. They look decent. Ja looks a little bit high for me. Ant is just pretty much where he's at. But I don't know if there's anyone really lower here, like a Dame or a CJ that you're on.
I'm not really on Dame or McCollum. Definitely would love to see Drummond bounce back, but it seems to me that he's just not there in the points. He's more for the rebounding. But Seth Curry, I mean, 21 points last game against Denver, kind of an easier matchup against Portland, and both these teams score a ton of points. So definitely don't mind Seth Curry after an awesome game at 14 and a
No doubt,
half.
man. We'll jump over to rebounds. Um, Definitely a category that we've been targeting so far this season. We've had a lot of solid success, and the first guy I always jump to when Memphis is playing is Ja. Man, he grabs a ton of boards. Obviously, last game That's a tough spot against the Clippers. I thought, he was going to get there, but he ultimately ended up pushing. So I think he's going to have some solid opportunity and this should be a really high scoring game against Minnesota. We've seen him go for 10 in a game before, in a couple games, so we know his ceiling is pretty high. For 5.5, I like him here in this spot.
Yeah, Morant grabs a ton of boards for a guard, and I mean his line just seems to sit at 5.5. So whenever it sits around there, I don't mind taking it at all. But I'm back on somebody I was on last night, and that's Brandon Ingram. His line moved up point 0.5. He's at 4.5. Grabbed 12 boards last game. I mean, he had four in the first quarter, which was incredible. He had no points. He was just grabbing the boards. But another nice matchup here against Indiana. Um, I don't really see too much trouble for him. Devonte Graham is out once again, so just more for Brandon Ingram, just to take over once again, with him just being the focal point of this team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and then there's guys like Giannis too, who he's at 10.5, and he's up and down in the rebounds. Really, like his ceiling is obviously extremely high, and he's going against a Magic team that just had a hard fought game against Brooklyn. I don't know what they're gonna have left in the tank really, so it could be a blowout really. Facing Milwaukee, but we'll see. Milwaukee's on a back-to-back as well, so I guess we'll just kind of have to see. But they kind of had, I don't know. I would say the final score was a little bit closer than what it entailed against OKC. So we'll see. That's pretty much it for rebounds. And then if you want to hop to assists, we can, unless you have someone else.
I'll start first for assists. No surprise here. Back on Cole Anthony, just dishing the ball like crazy. His line, where is his? Well, his line is gone, but his line was at 4.5. If it comes back at 5, 4, 6, I still like Cole Anthony. He's just dishing the ball, just unbelievable so far this year. It's kind of crazy that he's averaging 7, 8 assists a game. In the last like four, he's gotten over 10, over 8. So, but with someone on here to talk about, I definitely like LaMelo. I love the matchup against LA, or not LA, but Atlanta. I think there's going to be a really up-paced game. We know LaMelo Ball just is just such a great playmaker. I mean, if you just look at his last five, I mean, he's 80%, which is just awesome to see. But we know the kind of talent that he is and the playmaking ability, and he's going to get 10, 12 assists definitely
I
in this
love that
game.
spot for Lamelo. I think that's gonna really start climbing up into like the eights, nines, coming soon. So I definitely would get this while you can. And I like what you said about Cole Anthony. We've pretty much been on him, you know, game in, game out, really, for that team. He's been shooting the ball from deep, not great lately. So I'm gonna start to fade those 3 pointers, unless it comes in at a prop that I just can't fade, like a 1.5.
Oh, I just got the notification. Cole Anthony is listed
Oh,
out
okay. Well,
tonight,
yeah, that's
so that's why
yeah.
he's
Well,
not
yeah.
there.
I guess he was on my screen and he did fly off too, so that must be why. But either way, we have Lamelo locked in here. I like him as well. And then the last guy I want to talk about is Bradley Beal. He pushed last game, sitting at 5, and his it goes down his assist to 4.5. I understand Dinwiddie's coming back, which definitely takes away a little bit of playmaking ability, but I still like Beal in this spot going against Miami. I think having Dinwiddie does hurt a little bit, but I think the line goes down a half, and we just saw him push, so I'm still gonna be on Beal here tonight. And I mean, there's a couple other guys that look decent, but I think those are the guys really that we're targeting tonight. And then we'll hop over to 3 pointers made. A couple of these look good. We usually like to look at some people who are at a half. We'll see if Jovel pops up. He hit like 4 3 pointers last game, so if he pops up at a half, that could be some solid value too. But who do you like here, Riaz?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't mind the Wizards guys like Kuzma and Bradley Beal. I think this game's going to be pretty high scoring. So both of them sitting at 2 really isn't bad. And even LaMelo, I don't mind his over as well. I mean, he's very up and down. He makes 2, he makes 0. Sometimes he's hitting 4 or 5. So definitely great spots for all three of those
Same thing. I
guys.
feel, I feel the same way for Trey Young too. He's at 2, and like there's some games he does make 0. However, you take away that game, the last game he scored 0. He's had the last 6 games. He's hit over 4 out of the last 6 games. So, I mean, he's hit that the 6 out of the last 7. So I think that's a solid spot for Trey Young. And they're two young guys that should be going at it. And I think Trey's gonna have a solid game tonight. And I like him over 2. Honestly, I'm not gonna lock it in right now, but I think that's something that's solid value. And you scroll down, Lillard's having a tough year so far, but he started to pick it up a little bit. He's at 3, but that's just tough for me to get to. And I don't know, not a lot here. Ingram shot the ball well last game, hit 3 3-pointers. So realistically, not much that I'm looking at here, but some solid lines that you can definitely look at.
Yeah,
Then
without a
for
doubt.
fantasy score, there's a lot more people on here. They tend to get some of these rotational pieces in here, like Denny's in here. You got some lines for Dort and Giddy who aren't listed in other props yet. So if there's anyone here that sticks out for fantasy score, I mean Middleton, he's still low, but he didn't hit what we were looking at yesterday. But I like Suggs here in this spot, 25. With the Cole Anthony news being out, had an awesome game last game. He scored like 17 points in the first quarter. Suggs was just going off that game, so I really like Suggs here. I think that's solid value at 25 fantasy score.
Yeah, I mean, you took him right from me. Uh, once we got that Cole Anthony news mid video, Suggs at 25 is just unbelievable. Even when he's been in and uh, he's the past 2 games he's put up 30. But I'm definitely back on Gordon Hayward once again. I mean, when he really gets going and you see him take advantage on the defensive end, getting steals and blocks, and then he's a bigger guard, so he'll grab the boards for you and get a couple assists. But with just the scoring output, he could score 30 points in this game and get over this fantasy score. So at 28, Gordon Hayward is in a low spot for me. He's definitely a 35, 30 fantasy score player in my mind, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice guys here, for sure. But I think that'll wrap it up for us, man. Is there anyone else here that you like?
Just one guy, Drummond at 35. We saw the outpour that he had um, in the beginning of the year, but as of late, he is just struggling. So I really don't mind this under 35 for Drummond. I mean, kind of a tough matchup against Portland. So with the matchup and Tobias Harris being back, that kind of takes the scoring aspect from him. He gets a little lower usage in this spot. So I like that under, just considering the past 2 games. I mean, yeah, it was against Utah and Denver, but Portland's no joke. So with him not even being able to get over 20 fantasy score, I like the under for
I think
DeAndre
that's
Drummond.
solid value as well for the under. So that might creep down a little bit. All these lines we try to get a little bit early, but they always what I'm saying. There's even in the middle of this video, you get an inactive, and now I bet Jalen Suggs line starts creeping up like crazy. So get that while you can, man. If again, if there's anything we didn't talk about, you can definitely drop a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And like I said, in every video, we're on Prize Picks. I didn't mention in the beginning, but you can sign up using promo code Upstate. If you deposit 100, you get 100 back. So you get a nice deposit match there. And we'll be back for NFL. We just did the NFL video. That's for week 10. I mean week 11. So you can go check that one out. That's posted now. And then this is NBA. We'll be back Monday for a big slate, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.